Guys, I appreciate everybody jumping on tonight. I know it's summertime, everybody's in summer mode, but this was something that I felt was really special, something that I wanted to share because for me, working in distressed real estate, I've got a tremendous amount of people ask me weekly, Matt, how you find people that are in trouble? What is it that you're doing? What's your special sauce? So I'm going to give you guys my special sauce tonight. No pun intended, if you're a pervert. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible for people that want to find out or contact people that may or may not know what their options are. I educate people all the time. I tell people all the time, look, when you're talking with somebody who's in distress, let's just say you drive by a vacant property. To be able to have the capability in the palm of your hand to pull up as much information you can about that property, you can't put a price on it. Although tonight you are going to put a price on it, and hopefully you'll see what I see with the application. So the two gentlemen that introduced me to this are Phil Augustin and Ken Singh. Now, I know Ken now for a while on social media, and I just got acquainted with Phil a little while ago. I've been using this application now for about 2 weeks. I'm absolutely floored at the information that the app actually supplies and provides, in the palm of your hand when you're on the fly and you're in front of a property. And even if you weren't, and people are calling and say, hey, can you find information about the property? I'm literally doing it in real time. So maybe tonight people can give us addresses and we can actually put the app to the test and see if it even works. Even if you want to do your primary residence, which I did, and I was shocked how much information it actually had. The good news is if the information isn't 100%, meaning let's say somebody passes away 30 days from now, and another 30 days goes by, and the information may or may not be correct. And by the way, Ken, am I right when I say this, that the information that's supplied is information that's public records, and it's the same stuff that everybody gets? Is that correct?
Yeah, first and foremost, guys, thanks for joining today. Hello, everyone. Ken Singh, founder and CEO. So Matt's absolutely correct. It's like public records data and MLS data, it's pretty much the same across the boards. It really depends on who the data aggregator is, who the data provider is that's providing it to you, and how often they're updating their data feed and their data library. For those of you aren't familiar what a data library is, it's basically a data provider providing you information as they're updating it on their back end on their server. For example, our data provider and aggregator is REAPI. And Vince is an amazing individual. He sits on a lot of masterminds. So this is not some mom and pop shop. So Vince takes a lot of pride in the integrity in the data that's provided that we connect into our application. And that's updated on his end every 20 days. So if you guys are familiar with the real estate industry, which I believe everyone is to some degree, you'll understand that when something happens in real life, right, whether it's an acquisition, a disposition, when the deed has to get recorded, depending on the municipality that deed is getting recorded, as an example, right, could take anywhere between 30 to 60 days to get recorded. Then that information has to come to us, right, or to our data aggregator, and then they have to update it. Just because it's not happening immediately does not mean that's not going to get updated as soon as we get that information. So that would be one use case, man. I hope that clarifies some things.
Absolutely. So guys, really, and shame on me for not giving these guys a formal introduction. This application has been in the works, been working for a couple of years now. But I mean, like right now, you are getting in on an amazing ground level opportunity. I'm shocked based on the information that's provided with this application that they're willing to offer what they're offering now for the first couple hundred users. But after that, that's gone. It's locked. But regardless of what they do to the application, they're gonna allow you guys to lock in at that. So no matter how high the price goes, am I right, Ken? They'll be able to be locked in at this introductory price.
Yes, so I just want to make it very clear that that in fact is very true, but this is not a sales gimmick.
No, it's not.
We are a real estate investment community, which means our application gets stronger, bigger, better, faster, and we create more opportunities for ourselves as our community grows. Right now, the community is almost at a standstill based on acquisitions, dispositions, because of what's happening with the economic climate. I'm sure everybody will agree. You can make the best deal in the world, right, with a homeowner, but now you're going to go ahead and sell it and dispose of it for an end user to buy at almost at an 8% interest rate. Guess what? There's few and far in between people that could possibly get approved for that property or that investment, unless it was a
Mm.
phenomenal home run deal. And that's very few and far in between, like I mentioned. So, in turn, what we're going to do to make sure our community kept growing, we actually knocked off all of our profits off the license and gave you the bare bones of what we're going to offer today. Matt, I'm going to let you proceed with what that offer is for up to the 300 users. Once those seats are gone, it's literally saying we're growing out our community, and that's it. And from there, we'll either have to wait and see what happens in the future or take advantage of it now.
Look, at the end of the day, like Ken just said, this is not a sales pitch. But for $49.99 to unlock the amount of shit that this application provides, it absolutely blew me away. And I said, how do I get this to the people that I deal with? Now, anybody that follows me knows I don't just push shit. But if you have the opportunity in real time to get the information that you need, even running comps like that, blew me away. So the fact that this is something that I've been actively using, look, I had it, but I've been actively using it now for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. I am absolutely blown away from it. You don't have to use multiple applications. Everything is literally in one spot. So again, this isn't a sales pitch, but the price that they're offering at, and you'll see the true value here. I don't know why everybody would not want to jump on this. If you're a real estate investor, if you're a wholesaler, you're going to go bananas for this. Bananas. If you're a real estate agent, you're going to go bananas. If you're dealing with short sales, maybe you guys can also talk a little bit tonight about how you're going to be able to determine the properties are actually in trouble. I'm excited about it. So I know I jumped the gun. I probably should introduce you guys and let you run with it. It's not my product, it's your product. But I love the fact that I'm able to look at these things in real time. And as I said, if you guys have addresses or even your home addresses, give it to these guys and let's find out how much this shit's really accurate. So Phil, Ken, it's up to you guys. FlippBidd, let's go.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want to thank everybody. Like I said, I know we met, Dan, a few days back. I've heard of Dan, throughout the industry, but I see there's a bunch of people on here. So let's make this a little interactive. I don't want to put everybody to sleep. So let's do this. Patrick, maybe, or Phil, like we can open it up and introduce ourselves and then kind of work around the board and just say hello. And I would love to meet each and every one of you because look, like I said, our community is growing and we need to know who each of us are. So let's start that off. Patrick, Phil.
Great. I'll start off. My name is Patrick Yepes. I'm actually I assist Ken and Phil in marketing FlippBidd and getting the word out about this phenomenal product. If you have questions, just put them in the chat. I'll make sure that every single question gets answered, and you're in for a ride. So I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Phil.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, so my name is Phil Augustin. I've actually, first and foremost, I've been friends with Ken for about 20 years now. And within that 20 years, I think we met because his girlfriend at the time was actually my broker when I was at Bear Stearns on a trading desk. And so we met one day at a function, and then immediately we became friends. And then, 2007, 2008, 2009 happened, market crash. I was out of work, Ken was out of work, and we were at Central Park wondering what the hell were we gonna do with our lives? Because all I knew was, finance. So fast forward, we kind of went our separate ways, and I was kind of cash heavy, and I was asking Ken what he was up to, and he mentioned that he was dealing with off-market properties, doing some fix and flips and such, and I kind of had an appetite for it. So I said, "Great, let's do some." Did a few. Then he said, "I'm not doing anymore. I have a better idea." And I said, "Well, spill the beans." And he told me the FlippBidd concept. From that point on, I was on board. I believe in Ken. I believe in the vision. And I didn't know what it was going to materialize into. But just about 2 years ago, we had a working beta version. And then just a little while ago, was it 2 months now? 2 months, we actually just rolled out the new version of FlippBidd. And with that, I'll just pass the ball over to Ken. He can tell you a little bit more about himself and the app.
Yeah, I don't think they need to learn any more about me, Phil, but I can tell you guys this is a community-based application powered by our communities. It's a pioneering application that we're really put our blood, sweat, and tears in. We've been working on this, as Phil mentioned. It's been, believe it or not, 8 years. This is our third iteration of the application. It was the marketable version, and we created the user experience in a way where it's really hard, as Matt mentioned, to keep your hands off of it if you're in real estate investments, one form or fashion. It really is a unique business model, and the application is seamless. It's vertically integrated with all the features. I'm going to show it to you guys, but where's everybody from? I want to hear. Where am I reaching you guys, or where are we reaching you guys?
I'm from New Jersey. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Matt, for the invite.
Another Jersey guy.
Yeah, I'm a real South Jersey. So I'm a real estate agent, and I do work with a lot of foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. Always looking for data that can help me, get my sellers understand better the situation. So this is I already see a lot of value in this. So looking forward to, learning more about this opportunity.
Really quick, who's one of your favorite mentors?
That was for me.
Really quick, who's one of your favorite mentors?
Matthew Merenoff.
Okay, keep going.
That's it. We can close it. We can close it.
We're done. That's it.
Good night, everybody.
That's right.
Dan, where are you from, Dan?
Mr. Dan Satosky, the legend.
What's up? What's up, guys? Hanging out here in the house, and I'm in Delaware, USA right now. Hoping that in the winter I'm in Roatan, Honduras. So it's good to be here. I got a chance, like you said, I'm not going to take up too much time. This is your time. This is so much powerful knowledge. I want you to get it out, but I got a chance to get a private one-on-one tutorial on this. Man, I was blown away. And it's not easy to, the only one who's ever blown me away was Matt when he shaved his head. But seriously, guys, take a listen to this. And for me to jump on here again, second time, I was really, I told Patrick and Matt, I'm like, my God, this is, if I was back in the industry, wholesaling or flipping, I'd be all over this. So you guys are in for a real treat. They're not just saying this. So I'm looking forward to seeing this again. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Once again, it's not about me. This is about you guys, and love to be here again. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being online, Dan. And by the way, Dan, a little bit more corporate, a little bit more professional today. Dan called me on the way bringing my daughter home the other day. I was wearing a hat and I was kind of dressed down, but thanks for being on, Dan. I know you're busy, so thank you. I appreciate you jumping on today.
This is a great project you guys are working on, and it's definitely needed in the industry. So I'd love to see it again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nicole, Al, is it Esper and Ren? Anyone want to say hello before we can jump right in? Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Where we is it Esper? Am I pronouncing that right?
Esphere.
Esphere. I was close. Where are we reaching Esphere? Also Jersey?
Well, I'm in New York actually right now. but I handle both New Jersey and New York.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome. What do you do?
I do real estate and I help homeowners that are facing foreclosure. And I'm always looking for good deals, flips, investments.
Okay. Okay. So you're in the market of anything that's going to help you with your day-to-day operations. We're going to get, I see questions coming in. We're going to definitely get to those because there's going to be a lot of them and I want to answer all of them. I think I'll be able to answer a lot of them when I'm doing the demo. And by the way, I'm not going to bore you guys. I promise we're going to keep it exciting. I'm going to keep it under 10 minutes and show you everything it does. Nicole, Al, Ren, if you want to say hello, we'd love to hear from you guys. If I understand, I don't want to put you on the spot. You know, some people are busy and they might be camera shy. So if you hear me, welcome and thank you for joining Matt's amazing webinar. So Matt, thanks for putting this together. I don't know if you have any questions or you want me to just jump into it. What's your thoughts? Oh, wait, Al's got a question. So Al says, oh, sorry. He says, oh, hey, Al, how are you?
I'm fine.
Nicole says hi. Everyone says hello. Matt, what do you think? What do you think? Should we jump right in and show them what this thing does?
Just jump into it because just so you know, the people that are on right now, people I do business with for the most part. So I'm
Okay.
curious to see what they think about it.
No.
Thank
So before I get into this, let me lay the foundation down of what this thing actually is. So we know there's about a couple of dozen top CRMs out there in the real estate space, and what they do is normally allow people to nurture their leads and bring them through a certain workflow based on the real estate operation that the person is overseeing, whether it's acquisitions, dispositions, research, and everything in between, right? And two, there's this other side of this business that has that connects users to a data warehouse, which are applications, and just to name a few, like Batch Leads, Privy, Pin, amazing applications, right? But they allow you to capture information and they connect you to a data warehouse that's in the cloud somewhere, and to be able to grab those leads and then put them into the CRM system. And just to give you in 2 sentences how we differentiate from everybody, is we are an absolute 100% crowd-based business model. What that means is that we are not providing you leads. You guys are controlling the application. We give you the controls back, everything from acquisitions to dispositions, and even doing property research, and even connecting with professional services, which is coming soon with lenders, right? You can use the application as much or as little as you want, but when those deals that populate on our map, as I'm about to show you, are not populated by us, it's not populated by some AI on some back-end system. It's not populated by some pre-foreclosure lead. And it's not a lead for you to call and contact, see if you can make a deal. Those deals populate in real time because one of our users, your peers, have uploaded them. And as of today, as an example, we've done multiple demos. One, I had a Zoom with before this with our friend Matt, and guess what, Matt in real time just got notified that people are looking for deals in Albany. Probably got notified over the last week. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I'm sharing the screen with you right now. Hit that, just scan that barcode and play with us right while we're doing this. Download it. It's free, no credit card needed, so there's no skin off your back. And the best part about this is you don't even have to buy it. As long as the application is installed in your phone, you're going to get notified of off-market deals being uploaded by your peers, not leads, actual properties ready for dispo and ready to be sold for indefinitely for the rest of your life, as long as that application is installed on your phone. I hope that answers the question. This is FlippBidd. It is not a website. It is not a web app. It's an application that's live on App Store and Google Play that you can download without a credit card at all. It's free to download and use. I'll just go ahead and show my screen, and I won't hide Matt's pretty face over here. We'll leave that open, and we'll make sure we have the scan here just in case anybody pops on and wants to download it. So let me go ahead and right into the application, show everyone what this looks like. So here I am, this is FlippBidd, and this is our user interface. And the user interface is a little unique on our end, and we wanted to make it unique, but easy to navigate. So all I'm doing is just using my phone. I'm just using my thumb, and as you can see, I'm just moving the globe around. It's that easy going from market to market. Right now, you don't need to be out of space, but I always like to make a joke. You know, we were aiming for the stars, so we took everyone out to outer space when we built this thing. So this way they could find their way back to Earth and back to reality and back to doing deals, right? So when you go back, and this is where I'm located, that's that little blue point that you're seeing there. That's my location. How do I zoom into my location? Simple. You just click on the My Location button, which is right here, and then you'll see our map. And I always like to show my neighborhood. Here it is. It's pretty nice. And here's our backyard. We can go to one or many markets by simply just putting the full address, the street, city, and address, the city, and I'm sorry, city and state, or street, city, and state, or just the state alone. So if I wanted to go ahead and help Al or anybody else on the call, go look into New York, and I'm sure everyone's from all over the country, but here it is. So again, as you can see, this is not a CRM system. We are using advanced map technology to integrate all of our features and functions and being able to demonstrate the power of FlippBidd and showing what deals are available. Now, going back to Al's question, you might see a bunch of deals here, a bunch of icons and so on, but what do they represent? Well, we created an opportunity to be able to have people upload properties in real time. It is not a lead. If you see something here, it's for sale. That's just New York. Let's just go ahead to the rest of the country. We launched about shy of 60 days ago. We actually have about close to about 100 properties online, maybe a little bit more. We have had about 1,200 downloads. A lot of those people have been downloading and researching data, like our friend Matt here. He says he uses it every day. We see it on the back end, Matt, by the way, everything that's getting pulled. Matt's like, are you following me? I'm like, no, I'm not following you, but I know what you're doing because we're collecting the data on the back end. But if you want to navigate from city to city, we were just in New York, but let's say we decide to go to somewhere in Phoenix, Arizona, for example, and I know we're going, you know, a little bit onto the West Coast. All you're doing is just navigating from place to place. It's not a CRM system. This is an opportunity to look around the map, look at the neighborhood, but guess what? With our FlippBidd One Touch feature, which we are trademarking, you can actually go into the outskirts of Phoenix, go ahead, and not only Phoenix, anywhere in the country, and be able to pull data on the fly. So whether you're sitting in your car waiting for your hot date to come in, or you're about to, you're waiting for a train, or waiting for a meal to come in a restaurant, you could just click on any property, put in the address, or search for a property by using our assistant or one of many different ways. I'll show you how the assistant works. We're naming him Orion very soon. So, hey, Flip, take me to Philadelphia. It'll help you navigate to that area, to that region. And here's the maps. Here's downtown Philly. Here we go. So now what you want to do is, I don't have an address in Philadelphia, but let's say I did have an address. I can find that address really quickly nationally and just be able to click on a property and say, look, I'm looking for information on what street is this? South Shield Street. Yep, here's the house. All I have to do is just press my thumb down, pull the data on Shield Street, 2217, hit request data, view the property, make sure I'm on the right block, and all I have to do is just click on here because it's Google technology, right? And say, yep, that's the property, that's it, and that's the block. So let's just take a nice good look at the neighborhood. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a screenshot, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that shortly. And I'll crop that, save it. And again, just so you know, not a CRM system. So first things first, I want to make sure if this is the right property. So I'm going to get some property information. All that data has already been downloaded. Building square feet, lot square feet, year build, legal units weren't able to pull, 2 floors, property taxes, ARVs, a high, average, and low. And of course, we always provide 5 cons, which I know is a big feature for our friend Matt, as he uses it on a daily. Mortgage data looks like a Zy Nguyen owns the property. We weren't able to pull a transaction in, but there is equity in the property. So here's some information. It doesn't look like it's listed, and it's not in foreclosure. So let's say if this was a property that I was looking to sell, and I had this deal that came to me through text, because people still do that, WhatsApp, because people still do that, through email, because people still do that, and I decided to take on the contract and I was able to make a deal. All I have to do is, guess what? That big button that says sell my deal, I'm going to go ahead and show you how fast it is to dispose of property. So if this property, or any property for that matter, on our application, it always shows saves the property address automatically. If you have pictures in your Google Drive, you can connect your Google Drive, and I'll just use this as a use case for now. Here's my Google account that I'm using. Yes, give it access. Connect a folder. So we'll just go ahead and connect this one, for example, has a bunch of JPEGs and MP4s. Yes, you could share pictures and videos with the rest of our community. Hit the done button. It's attached. Price it out. Let's give it a price. Let's say it's about $150. And it's a contract assignment, note, REO, short sale, straight deal, subject to wholesale. Let's say it's a wholesale deal. That's why I took the picture. Attach some images. You can attach up to 5. Leave a voice note. In the day and time of AI, real estate, people still want to hear your voice so they know it's not some robot uploading these properties. As Al mentioned before, that he doesn't know if these properties are for sale or not. Who knows? Maybe it's just a simple lead. Well, it's not a simple lead if I'm leaving a message like this. Hi, my name is Ken Singh. I have a property in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for $150,000. It's a wholesale deal. I have the contract of assignment, so I can sell it to you investors out there. Connect with me on FlippBidd via chat or call, and I would like to tell you more. That voice note now got saved. I can now sell it to the entire network in our application, or I could say, hey, I don't want to deal with the middlemen, the brokers, the agents, and so on. I want to deal with the principals only the verified investors, like our friend Matt over here. And so we're going to go ahead and just sell this property just to the verified investors, because I don't want to deal with any nonsense. Nope, actually, I don't care. Just bring me a buyer. I'm brokering the deal. Or you could say I hold the contract, right? If you hold the contract, great. Upload it. Yes, you abide by all state, federal, and local real estate law, in addition to FlippBidd's terms and conditions. Once you hit the OK button, Al, this one's for you, buddy. Now I've uploaded a deal. This is not someone who's thinking about selling a deal. It's someone who wants to sell the deal, actually wants to get rid of this property, and I want to let everybody in FlippBidd know that I want to sell this deal. I have the contract, and guess what happens? There's a little icon that gets placed on that map for everyone in our universe to see, and they can just click on view property, go through the information, and connect with me. When you connect with me or connect with sellers, they're going to get notified you called through my connections, as you see here. Victor LaRosa called earlier. Joy Oifield is Ofilu is connecting me nonstop. I just got a message. There you go. That's our buddy and COO. How did he find out that I uploaded a deal? Because not only he got notified that we just uploaded a property in Philadelphia, so did 700 other people that downloaded the app over the last month and a half. Just got notified, and they probably are starting to get pissed off because I keep deleting them after the fact. But we're going to have to do that, and they're going to have to deal with it. They have to understand that we're doing demos, and this is just a test property. So Phil messaged me. I got notified. Hey, Phil, let's make a deal. And now Phil's going to get a message, just like people do when they use WhatsApp, text, and other notifications. So as you can see, this is not a lead generation service. This is an application for everyone to connect directly without any outside parties charging them fees, commissions, or points and digging into their pockets. We're building a community, and the bigger it gets, the stronger it gets. So here we go. What does that property look like? Here it goes in Philadelphia. There you go. And now it's added to everybody else, all the other properties. For now, we're going to go back, and we're going to go into my profile, and we're going to go into my uploads, because we're going to mark it under contract. Guess what happens when you mark a property under contract? Here it goes, Shield Street. We're going to go ahead and mark it under contract. When we mark it under contract, guess what happens? 700 people out there just got notified that this deal that just went up is now under contract, and everyone just got notified in real time. But for now, so I don't get in trouble and I don't sell someone's property that's not really looking to sell it, I'm going to delete it. How do we do that? The same 3 buttons. Click on that, hit the delete button. Oh, before I delete it, by the way, you can also share property. So if you find something out there that you may have a buyer for or an investor, all you do is just hit the share button, connect with them via WhatsApp, message, and so on. So if you connect with them via message, you can share that property. And what does that look like? I'll send it to our buddy Phil over here, who's my COO. And here we go. You can send the property with the picture. What does it look like? I'm going to go to my text. Here you go. That's what the outbound text looks like when you're sharing properties on our application, through our application. So as you can see, there's many features on here. We won't get to all of them because there's a ton of things, including ROI calculators. There is skip tracing, which is very important for individuals like Matt, because every time you visit a property on our application, for people that are looking for distressed properties and data, well, guess what? We have an in-app skip trace feature. So every time you visit a property, it shows up under My Visits, whether it's one or many, and you could go ahead and skip trace it. Let's go ahead and use Philadelphia as the test case for now. I searched this property. I visited it on FlippBidd. Now I want to skip trace it. You can skip trace one property, or you can skip trace all properties you visited at any time and then export that whole list out with the phone numbers and emails. But for now, we're just going to stick to 2217 Shield Street. Hit the skip trace button right here. Hit OK, and it's going to show up on the top of my list. Just give it 1 second. It's pulling all the data. And now that property skip trace. I'm going to go ahead and click on the property right here. All that skip trace information is right here. So for individuals like Matt who want to make a deal and they find out if this property was in pre-foreclosure, how he can assist the homeowner from getting out of pre-foreclosure and getting this deal done for this family. How did he do that beforehand? Well, he had to use multiple tools that wouldn't be able to do this on the fly like FlippBidd does. But now, since Matt has FlippBidd and so do you guys, every time you visit a property and you skip trace, all you have to do is just press that button right there. That's the landline. Maybe the landline doesn't work. Let's try the mobile number. Maybe and dial out, or dial this out, or dial that out, right? So we collect up to 4 phone numbers and 4 emails if they're in public records. But it makes it that easy to skip trace properties. And soon, I know Matt is very excited about this, and so are we. For individuals that are proficient or focus on distressed properties, we're actually creating a map filter here. A distressed property search icon. It's a polygon search filter. It's what it would look like is like basically a little icon that you could click and drag anywhere. Let's just go to New Jersey because I know a few of you guys are from out there. Let me spell Jersey right. Here we go. 1 second. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. I'm getting a little feedback. So let's go into New Jersey. And once you go into New Jersey, all you have to do is take that polygon search filter, click and drag it anywhere on the map, expand it with your thumb, and it's going to pin every distressed property within that area up to 2 miles. And then again, where does that go? The FlippBidd will actually transition it over right into My Visits to be able to skip trace. You don't even have to leave your desk or your dining room table after dinner to be able to make a phone call or email the owner to help them and assist them in that pre-foreclosure. And it's easy as that. And how do we do that? We did it in a nice vertically integrated system that's a community-based application with real deals ready for sale, not a lead, all in a single application that's all ready for you to use within a very low price point. In fact, it's free to download and use. So with that said, that was a very quick and dirty demo. There's a lot we can do with this. And I'm sure we're, I'm getting a little feedback from somebody, but I do apologize. But with that said, Matt, do you have it? You want to take it over from here? Do we have any questions?
I have a question. Ms. King, you said it was a deal. To me, that it's not a deal. You haven't talked to, you haven't communicated with the owner. It's not a deal.
Correct. So the people that are uploading these deals onto our application have spoken to the owner or
Oh,
have the deal or have the contract in hand. We have, and I'm just going to give you an example, Al. I myself have about 20 investors in the New York region, and they are investors. Then they go to pretty much every public auction house on a weekly basis, and they don't hold on to these deals. And all of those deals in New York are all assignment contracts, REO deals, and those
I,
are real deals.
I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I missed something, but I'm like, where's the deal? Because I'm on the outside looking in. So if when you say deal, that means it's been already pre-negotiated. So all we're gonna do is have a double assignment. I'm as a client,
Yeah,
I'm gonna work
yeah.
with the
So
I'm gonna work with the person
yes,
who has the deal, and then I'll find me a cash buyer. So I have the assignment, the A to B. The A is to with the I'm gonna have it really is a joint venture. I'm gonna have that with the person who posted the deal. I might not hit all the terms right, but the logic is correct, and I'm gonna learn all the different terms. The A part is I have an assignment with the person who pre-negotiated the deal, and then with the buyer is going to be on the B side, and that's my double assignment there. And when you say that, I'm thinking, then you got a deal, it's pre-negotiated. But I want to make sure I got the terms correct, Mr. Ken. That's all I want to say. So as I speak to one another, I got to get that right. So if I don't
yeah.
hit that term right, you let me know. And because this is real estate 101. A lot of these terminologies for me is real estate 101 for dummies. But I want to get that right because I do about 4 deals a year. And now that I'm retired, I'm jumping in the pool because I can work for me now, which I really like, and say, hey, if you got a deal, let me go see if I can find a cash buyer.
Yeah, so completely understandable. So we're going to help you cool down in that pool when you take that dive. So we're going to be able to assist you with an application not to supplement your already in place operation, because I think you're doing a phenomenal job doing 4 or 5 deals a year. That's extraordinary. A lot of people cannot even handle that much workload because we understand how hard the real estate industry is. But what I can tell you, Al, is that we have a very complimentary product. Whether you're trying to get the deal at the ground level to make a deal with a homeowner, which you can find on the application, right, through our skip tracing feature, or you've already found a deal on the application that's already pre-negotiated, or you found a deal on our application that's an REO short sale subject to, and there's a heck of a lot of terms, notes that you can upload, right? It applies a little bit to everybody. It might not be the perfect solution. It may not solve world hunger, but it's definitely going to get you from point A to point B a little quicker. And that's why we built this. Now, to answer your second question, to get all the terms and the verbiage right. Well, we're not a coaching company. I apologize. We know just a little bit about technology, and we would like to share that with you. And we would like to welcome you aboard. And like I said, play around with it. It won't harm you. It's free to download and use anyway. And hopefully we could convince you otherwise over time.
For me, it's still an application. It's on the web. That's what it is. So with that being said, you said you're going to have a version that's going to be for Windows, correct? Coming
So
out.
it's not for Windows. It would be for Windows and Apple. It's called a web app. It's web application. That's the short term for it, and we are working on that to get that rolled out.
I got that. It don't matter what it's called.
Yeah,
for Windows,
that's what
it's Windows. And you say the estimated delivery date somewhere around November?
That's correct.
Well, thank you. See, I told you I'm simple, man. It's a Windows application, and I would like to see that because a 42-inch screen holds a lot better than an iPad or a
We're
telephone
gonna
app.
we're gonna make sure you enjoy this on your 42-inch screen, Al. I promise you. With that said,
Wait,
Bless you.
I would love to take some
can,
questions.
can I interrupt you? Yeah, there are a
And-
couple of questions.
Yeah.
So I'll jump right in. Esfer asked, can you do about skip tracing? Is there additional cost for skip tracing? Maybe it would be nice for you to answer her, and then this way everybody else could also learn about that.
Yeah, so wonderful question. So first and foremost, skip tracing is not an extra fee. It's all included in our price. Now, the difference between our application and an application like Deal Machine, for example, right? Or PIN, they definitely price their products pretty reasonably. So anywhere between like I think $100 to $300 depending on the product you get, and they promise you 15,000 skip traces, which is phenomenal. But if you're skip tracing 15,000 properties, I'm pretty sure you got your work cut out for you, because I couldn't make 15,000 phone calls in 10 years, to be honest with you, far less in a month. So you would have to have a pretty substantial operations team to be able to do that. What we allow you to do is that 1 or 2 deals that come across your desk that pique your interest, you're able to skip trace. So we provide for that. Again, Matt's going to give you the price breakdown because we've chopped our prices in half just to make sure we get the community onboarded quickly. I'm going to let him break the good news to you, but within that price, you get 100 skip traces a month at no additional cost.
Also, Ken, Al had a question, and it would be good. And maybe just to clarify, this is Patrick speaking. Maybe to clarify, this is a primarily an application where investors can dispo the deals they have already negotiated. They already have the contract, whether they've purchased the property, whether it's a wholesale, they have that property in hand. So what FlippBidd is a tool to be able to dispo those deals in an effective manner. Now, the other side, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Ken, but the other side of it is to find properties. So how can you find properties on FlippBidd? Ken, could you spend a few minutes on showing that? And maybe if we can talk about 2 more things. And I hate to throw so much on you because I don't want to, there's so much here, guys, but the virtual tour feature, which is coming up, is very, very powerful. And the buy box feature is very powerful. And I'll end with this. What makes FlippBidd powerful is that you do 3 things. You research properties like any one of the other applications. That doesn't make it special. What makes it special is that you can research properties, you can dispo properties, and you can acquire properties. And lastly, there is a product that's similar to FlippBidd, and it's Investor Lift's God Mode. It's similar. It doesn't do nearly as much as FlippBidd, but if you look up Investor Lift, look at their website. It's the God Mode. That'll cost you $36,000 a year. FlippBidd does what the God Mode does for $99 a month, and even cheaper when we get to that. But Ken, could you discuss about the fact that you can purchase a property on FlippBidd and how you might be able to search it? Let me reword it. You can find properties on FlippBidd.
Yeah, so thanks for that to team me up there, Patrick, and for everyone that's looking to see how we can do acquisitions on the fly. Yeah, we don't have release the Kraken mode or any of those other modes. We just have FlippBidd and our FlippBidd community, and we rely heavily on each other because what we do is we provide a application that's a networking application to have everyone integrate with each other seamlessly, right? So a part of that is, how do we notify you guys when deals go up? Well, it's real simple. There's a notification that goes out every time a deal gets sold. So while I had this scan here for Matt's amazing webinar today, I hope you guys are taking advantage and downloading this application, because I can only show you the power of the application if you have the application actually installed on your phone. Download it now, because I might be able to upload a property and show you how quickly you'll get notified of a deal being uploaded. I just uploaded one in Philadelphia. Some of you may have already gotten notified. I know Phil did, because that's the only way he was able to message me, because he got notified of the deal. It's in real time. So every time these deals populate, what happens is that you get notified that they populate. So For example, if we go into, let's go to our friends over here in Houston, for example, right? You find a property, you're looking for acquisitions in Houston, you see that there's a little blue icon over here. All you have to do is just click on it. Let's assume, fast forward, that you are already notified that this gentleman, Abdullah, I can't read the rest of his name, but Abdullah uploaded a property at 3902 Crow Valley Drive in Missouri City, Texas, right? How do you know that this property exists? Because you got notified. There was a notification that came in that says new property, whether it was a wholesale, it'll let you know it's wholesale deal, assignment of contract, REO, short sale, Matt Merenoff special sauce, short sales, as well as subject to deals on 123 Main Street. It'll give you the address. How do I connect with them? Well, once you click on that notification, it's going to take you to this window right here. And how I got to that window, I just hit view property. It'll literally take you to this screen. When you click on that notification from here, you can go ahead and look up the property information, sales comps, ARVs. You can look up mortgage data. There's no sales comps because Texas is a non-disclosure state, but we do provide ARV and AV, a high, average, and lows. But how hard is it to connect with Abdullah? Well, how would you do it today? You would call somebody. If you didn't know this gentleman, you would call the person that got you the deal, or maybe how did Abdullah notify you of this deal, assuming you were in his network or a list of buyers. I know how. Most likely Abdullah has you on a buyer's list, which he sends emails multiple times a month of a bunch of deals that he sends over, and that ends up in your spam folder. Our notifications don't end up in spam folders. They end up right on your phone, ready to be checked when you're ready. And the best part about it is, for those of you who are Facebook savvy, nothing wrong with it, but Facebook was not created to buy and sell and do real estate. It's not a real estate centric application. Ours is. So guess what? You're not going to get spammed about cryptos when you upload a property. You're not going to get offensive feedback or pictures when you upload a property. They're not going to try to no one's going to try to cross solicit you with anything else. It's just real estate. How do I connect with Abdullah? How do you connect with the seller? Simple message. Hey, Abdullah, I'm interested in your property. If I send this out, he's going to get notified. He's going to text you back. And if you can't get a hold of him, just call him. It's the call button, just like if you were on your cell phone. But how did you find Abdullah? You found him because Abdullah uploaded a property and others like it. How are we growing this community? We're doing webinars like this amazing one from my man, Matt Merenoff, and a bunch like it. And we're just growing that community. It's only been 2 months. We've gotten 1,200 downloads, and we are growing exponentially. When we grow, you get more opportunity to grow with your peers. So,
and can you talk about
the
okay,
Patrick, hold on 1 second. So
yeah.
this is really important. The reason why I invited people to this call tonight, 2 reasons. One, scan that QR code, because 3 people said, how do I download the app? I'm certain the majority of everybody right now is in front of a computer. Download that app. When you download that app, you get 10 free searches, right, Ken?
10 free searches, 10 free data searches, property searches, as well as skip traces.
I mean, I don't know why somebody would not download this app just to take it for a test drive. Download, you know what you do? Fuck it. Download somebody you used to hate when you went to high school with. Download that property, skip trace that property, and then whatever. Call him. He's not gonna know it's you.
Hey, Matt, it's Rob. I got a question for you. And
Yeah,
maybe I direct this at Ken and Pat. I don't know who I direct this at, but
Go for it, Robert.
Hey guys, so you obviously know what Matt knows what I'm doing behind the scenes right now, building out a investment company. I've for years worked with a lot of the bigger investment wholesale firms in South Jersey, and finally diving into the deep end to do this myself. We have a lot of marketing that's going to be going out in the next couple months. So I guess my question is as we're starting to lock these deals up, is it? And I came on this call late, so I apologize if I'm kind of circling back. Is this app specifically for me to source potential buyers, or is this a place for me to JV with other investors that might have buyers?
Yeah, great question. I would tell you it's all of the above. The three buckets that this application really revolves around is acquisitions, dispositions, and property research data on the fly, which means that you could do it very quick and efficiently. And that was kind of our core focus. So I'll give you an example. Oh, sorry, I shut it down, but I'll give you an example. So if I was looking for buyers, and when you start off the application, it starts off like a blank slate. So you might not be able to pull anything. As you zoom into your respective markets, everything starts populating, whether it's New York, New Jersey, as I'm doing here, right? Here's the thing. We started off with just a few properties and few investors. All of those ID cards that you're seeing back there, we vet our verified investors. If we want to see what one of those verified investors look like, here's one of them. Melissa Leak, she's in New Jersey. Here's another verified investor. That's our friend Matt. I believe Matt has a couple IDs there, but you could actually sell investors your deals directly. So once you click on these IDs, and we're vetting investors on a national scale, well, you could just go ahead and click on one of their and say, look, own, and not only a one-to-one. When you're uploading a property on the dispo side, you have to understand, Robert, everyone's getting notified in one shot that you just disposed of a deal. Now, if you're looking for investors, what's better than uploading the deal once and notifying hundreds, if not thousands of people at once? Or you could spend a substantial amount of money marketing your deal, right? However you want to do it, or you could do it for free.
No,
It's up to
I
you.
get that. I guess my next question is like, how many people are currently, how long have you guys been doing this? Like, I came on the call late, so I'm apologizing
No
to
problem.
everybody here.
No need to apologize. So the answer is, we've been working on this project for about 7-8 years. This is our third iteration of this application. It
Okay.
was in beta for the last 2 years on App Store and Google Play, and we were working out the kinks and bugs, and we were looking at the user experience and how we can make it bigger and better. We literally launched this version less than 60 days ago. We got 1,200 downloads, and I can even show you without even just talking about it. This is our backend dashboard. And if you go to properties here, and I'm not sure if it's going to let me go back in, but here's all of our properties. I'm going to have to log back in. But you see all these properties here? These are for sale. Arizona, Florida, Oklahoma, Nevada. I don't know that many people. I may be cool, Robert, but I don't know this many people, right? Nevada, Arizona, Florida, Arizona, Texas. I mean, this list just goes on and on. To probably, I would say, about within the last 2 months, 1,200 pieces of property and investment properties on our application have been pulled. Data has been pulled on it because people are researching nationally. That's within 60 days. We've gotten 1,200 downloads, and we sold about, I think, 25 licenses in the last 2 days.
Gotcha, okay.
30 licenses about.
Wait, hold on, Ken, tell them about, because I don't think Rob saw where you guys are going to be integrating the foreclosure properties in there. Where it's
Oh, you're talking. Oh, Robert? Did you not catch the distressed property polygon search filters? I'll explain to you what we're doing. So
that's, you don't have, it may just be another
have a
call
skip
back
tracing
here.
functionality, and if you're looking at the application, we're adding a distressed property search filter, right? With our polygon search. It's a little icon we're adding, and all you're going to do is click and drag that icon anywhere in the map in the world, in the country, and it'll pin all the.
Ken, you might want to turn,
Ken, your visits list.
Ken, you might want to turn off your camera because your internet is very low and we're not hearing you.
I hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear fine.
Okay, all right, fine. All right, it might be on my end. Go right ahead, Ken. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. So the distressed search property filter, you could basically go in and it'll save it to your visits, and you can skip trace all distressed properties, and we will be giving you the owners, the borrower's name, borrower and co-borrower, the lender, how much they're behind or in arrears, how much taxes they owe, who the lender is, and if there's any judgment on the actual property. And you could pin that within seconds.
Well, hold on one second. Hold on one second. So, Rob, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many properties are you looking to purchase over the next 12 months? And obviously, there's a method to my madness.
Yeah, no, I'll answer it honestly. I mean, the game plan for us is to scale from 10 to probably 30 to 40 flips a year. So that, I mean, that's your answer. So you're probably talking about, you know, three to five a month.
Okay.
That's what we're looking to do.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'll give.
No, Ken, hold on one sec. There's a method to my madness.
Yeah.
How many real estate agents you have in your office right now?
120 that are currently with us, but we'll probably scale a little more than that.
How many of the 120 are active real estate agents?
All of them.
Okay, so here's my point. If you have your agents out in your streets and they're making phone calls and they're calling people anyway, and they see a house and it looks like shit, and they put that property through the system, you connect the dots. That's
Let me-
why I wanted everybody to be on here.
Let me hold on.
Question
So
for you real quick, not to cut you off, guys. Hold on, my bait. So I got a three-week old. So I apologize if you hear some crying in the background.
no
here.
worries, man. I got a baby at home too, so it's all good.
No, yeah. So Matt, to your point, so what you're saying is you can put a property in here even if it's not under contract. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, you can pull up any throw a property, give Ken a property address. Anything if anybody's on here, give him a property address. Let him skip trace it live.
Well, I'm just saying, like you're saying specifically, go ahead on here and then skip trace the actual property. I mean, how many skip traces do you get a month on this service for $99?
It's $49, and I gave away the big goose egg, right? So
I missed the number. I apologize.
No, but I should charge this battery. But let me give you a real-time scenario, Robert, so you can understand the power of this. A real scenario.
Jen, hold on one second.
Yeah. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually give you a real life scenario, and this is actually close to what I was looking for. I have a brother. This is a real life scenario, right? My brother and I want to make sure we take care of our mom. So obviously, you know, she's an elderly lady. We want to make sure we found a house somewhere near us. And of course, me being the older brother and being in real estate investments, we're going to, you know, he was leaning on me to find the property. So guess what? Here's my location. I hope Rob is catching the butt end of this. This is my location. This is where I am, and I always like to share. I always like to share the story because it's a real story, right? So here's my house. That's where I'm calling from right now, and this is where I walk my dogs. My neighborhood. Sometimes I walk my dog in the morning up this block and up Strang Drive. I live in a pretty decent area. Just to give you an understanding, I'm not trying to brag, but my house, you know, it's expensive. It's about $850,000. This house is the property's jumped up. We live in one of the highest tax areas in the country. So when I walk my dog, I always pass by this little house. If everyone's focusing on where I'm circling, and I never understood how I could find out who lives there, because this house, believe it or not, is boarded up. It's one of the ugliest houses in the neighborhood. I've actually talked to Matt about this. He can vouch for this. I said, Matt, I have a deal right around the neighborhood. Can you help me with it? Guess what? Before flipping, again, real case scenario, I could not figure out who lived in that house. You know why? Because then I would have to go with download tools. I had to go search here, search there, call there, call here. I just walked my dog. And after I launched Flip It, I was like, you know what? Let me search this. And all I did was I put my thumb on this house, just like I'm about to do now, right? And I pinned it. It came out to 875 Strang Drive. And then just to answer your question, Robert, how this is going to help you and your realtors, I viewed the property, and I'll show you what this property looks like just by sitting at my table. Go to Street View, and I want to show everybody on the call today. You see these houses? They're in pretty good condition. They're pretty nice. They're not bad. I'm sorry, just hold questions for 1 second. Let me just finish this.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So here's the property. And now you can see the property. It's not in the greatest condition. Roof needs to be updated. Here's the boarded up door. I'm not the type to rummage through people's mail. I'm not going to do it, right? It's just not one of something I do. So here's the property. I'm going to take a snapshot of this. Here you go. Right. Just for now, every phone has a way to do a screenshot. I'm going to save this picture. I'm going to go back. Now, what I did was I visited this property on FlippBidd. Just to answer your question, Robert, how do I find out who the owners are? I skip trace the information. I already did this house, so I have the information. You can skip trace any property 100 times a month in the whole country within that cost, right? So here's the skip trace information. Now I know who the owner is. It's Edward and Irene Novitsky. Here's their phone numbers, and I could just dial out the numbers. But guess what? I wasn't so lucky with this property, because 2 of the numbers were outdated and the 2 of the numbers kept dialing out. But because we're going to assume that we're a little bit more advanced, right? Some of us a little bit more advanced. We might have additional resources on top of FlippBidd, which is not going to save world hunger, but it's going to help just a little bit extra. Guess what I did? I called my friend, Lorraine Lincoln, who is the president of Freedom Abstract, who has an office about 5 miles from where I live. I said, hey, Lorraine, I need your help. I found a deal around the block from my house I really wanted for my mom. It looks like information looks good. The taxes are there. Sales comps are there. The sales comps run around mid 600s, even low 600s for this property. Yeah, believe it or not, even for that piece of crap property, is still 625 ARVs, right? I pulled the mortgage data. Irene and Edward Novitsky do own that property, and there's a ton of equity in it. What the hell's going on? They boarded up and left? How did that happen? So I looked at foreclosure information on, I'm doing this on FlippBidd, by the way. No foreclosure history, there's no judgment amount, and there's no auction date. They must be in pre-foreclosure, or they died, they passed, and it's an estate sale. When I called Lorraine, you know what she told me? Because some of us, maybe not all of us, have connections to title companies. She was able to pull information on Irene and Edward Novitsky, told me that they are in fact in pre-foreclosure. They got up and left and moved to Washington, D.C. The last time they were served was February 24th of this year. And guess even one better what she did. She's like, by the way, the plaintiff used to be Citibank. They transferred the note to PHH. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of PHH. Used to be Aquin. Amazing, because they make good deals. Guess what? Now she told me who the note holder is, and she told me, guess what, Ken? The plaintiff's attorney is Christopher so-and-so. He works for this at this firm. He's in Westbury. Westbury's 5 minutes from my house. Now, guess what? I'm all over Christopher. I did that in 5 minutes.
And by the way, guys, so let's assume in this case scenario that Ken gets the property and his mom says, I don't want to live there. He can turn around, upload it to FlippBidd, and try to sell it to anybody in the network. As soon as he uploads it to FlippBidd, everybody in the network gets notified. And what's coming down the pike, I believe in the next 60 or 90 days, Ken, is in a feature that's amazing, which is you can actually do a virtual tour on the property. You want to discuss that, Ken? Because I think that's another thing that's really powerful.
Yeah, so I love Patrick to death. He loves giving away the trade secrets in all these webinars, because I know it gets him real excited. So don't hold my foot to the fire, because I know Matt's a good friend now. If I say something, he's going to be like, Ken, is it ready yet? Everyone's calling me. So we have this amazing technology called a smartphone. Each and every one of our smartphones nowadays, it's not like it was like in the 2000s. It has a really high definition camera. And you know what you can do on phones, which are technically computers? You can actually have a conversation like this, like how we are, the 10, 12, 13 of us, maybe even 20, 30 of us at a time on a live stream. So we're integrating a technology into our application that not only allows our sellers to upload the property, and I'll show you where it's going to be in your My Uploads. But when they click on this little button over here, oh, I forgot to delete Shield Street. Let me delete that right now before I get in trouble. Delete property. Okay. Not only can you upload the property, but you could actually click on here, go to your user controls, and the first button you're going to see here is going to be schedule virtual tour for a future date. Yes, you can schedule a tour for your property in a future date, and then what's going to show, it's going to show that icon on the map. It's going to be a very unique icon showing that there's a virtual tour that's going to start on that property, where other investors, other members of our community can actually click on that icon and RSVP for that virtual tour at a future date. So what happens, all you do as a seller can now go into an empty house, not a single soul in sight, walk around the front of the outside premises of the property, and also the inside premises of the property, and speak to each other as we are right now to answer as many questions as you like. Can I see the ceiling? Do you see, oh, there is a leak on the roof. There is a missing, I don't know, there's missing appliances. The floors needs to be fixed. Hey, can you walk through what's more important than the whole boiler system? It costs $10,000-$20,000. Can I see the boiler? When was it last serviced? You can ask all these questions. Are there open liens and judgments? Is that a legal extension? And all of the above. And just for RSVPing the property, forget about 20 miles down the road, right? 20 states away, investors are also buying in different different markets because they're interested in those markets. Just for RSVPing and finishing, because they don't get this beforehand. When they're done with RSVP, they're going to get about a 6 or 7 page report. We're making a deal with DataTree. We're speaking to CoreLogic, and we've made a deal with LexisNexis already to provide you a whole report that has the property information, valuations, nearby listings, comps, you name it, open liens and judgments, and open permits on that property. But so does the seller. And they also get a whole RSVP list of everybody that attended.
Guys, really quick, this is massive. So you just jogged my memory, and this is why I'm telling people, guys, if you didn't download this thing, download it. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I just reached out to a real estate agent. I haven't talked to this guy in over 2 months. I said, yo, what's that property address in Belleville that we couldn't find the homeowner? I shit you not, on God. All of a sudden now, there's 4 phone numbers that just popped up on this property. I can't even believe it. This is important. So Ken, tell them, because you told me before we started this call, every how many days? Because these are public records. How many days do these things like regenerate?
Yeah, so everybody says, hey, some of this information seems outdated. Why is that? Most of the time, what's happening is, look, public records data is public records data, right? MLS information is MLS information. Doesn't matter, who the MLS system, what MLS system there is out there. However, aggregating that data takes some time, because depending on the municipality of where that record sits of that property, they can be updated. I mean, it could be a week or 2, all the way to 60 days from then. That information then has to, like, for example, a deed gets recorded. It might take a month or 2 for that deed to get recorded. Then that information has to be pulled from our data aggregator, which takes about every 20 days to update. And then it has to come into our system. So it doesn't mean we're not updating it in real time. It means we're getting it as soon as it's ready. And so we update, our data aggregator updates their system every 20 days. So maybe Matt didn't have the information before, but we sure helped him today.
Yeah, you did. And the agent now is flipping out because he's like, those phone numbers were not available when I went to the public sites. But I like it because now it looks like they might be, think about it, both the homeowners are dead. They're dead, and all of a sudden now phone numbers are generating in public records. Doesn't that make sense? To me, the bell is going off in my head. I'm excited. This could be an actual deal now. That's good stuff.
So there's 2 use cases that we just presented. So Robert, I hope that one use case of my neighborhood property kind of helps you understand the power of it. Whether you're driving around, you see something boarded up, like you can just sit in your car and just look at the property because the house address is there. You know the street that you're on. All right. And you could just plug it into the system and get information. People used to door knock back in the days, and they still do. You don't even have to get out of the car before you making a phone call or sending an email out or finding out who the homeowner is before you can make a deal. Again, we're not solving for every problem in the world. We are providing a complementary tool almost at bare bones net zero cost to assist with real estate investment operations that apply to everyone from investors to wholesalers to buyers to sellers to the average Jane and John Doe that want to get involved in their first real estate investment, all the way to the savvy investor like Matt Merenoff, who's done a ton of these deals. One way or another, it's going to assist you. So with that said,
this isn't something that I think you really have to sell, because the value just shows itself. I mean, I've been skip tracing for 10 years. It's just one of those things where, you know, the cost of it's expensive if you're doing it in bulk like I used to do. So the value itself is that alone, but it just happens to come with other perks.
That's correct. That's correct. So we try to take, you hit the nail on the head. So we try to take the best parts of everything everyone needs and kind of, you know, situate it in a very vertically integrated system without making it too cumbersome and too complex. And that's difficult. Any other questions out there, guys? I mean, I know a lot of you guys are listening, you guys are watching, you guys are, you know, enjoying the demo. I don't want to go on and on. I would love to hear your feedback.
We have a question from Ebenezer. Are those distressed properties that you do with the search? What is the terminology that you use for that quadrant?
So yeah, so it's a distressed property polygon search.
The
So
polygon.
let's say
Are those
let's
mortgage
say
delinquents, or are those tax liens or probates? What are
mortgage and tax delinquencies.
they? That answers
Mortgage and
Ebenezer's
tax
question.
delinquencies.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions, guys? I know Patrick's filtering them. Won't use the word deal anymore. We're gonna go ahead and get the next question answered. Hopefully we can get each and every one of these addressed over the next 13 minutes because Matt, how much time do we have on your side? You're on mute. You're on mute.
15 minutes, 55 hours, whatever you want. I mean, we'll
Okay.
we'll ride this fucking train until the wheels fall off.
All right, so I got a question. How many of you guys out there downloaded the application since that scan and QR code's been up? And I'll show it again.
First of all, I saw
By the
Joe
way, Ken-
download it. I saw Joe downloaded it.
Yes. By the way, Ken, and everybody that's on the call, I also inserted inside of the chat and the actual link. So if you can either scan it or click on what I just threw into the chat, and you can get to download the app.
Let's do this. Let's do something. How many of you guys out there are wholesaling, selling? They have a deal on the table. I want to use a real life scenario, maybe something that you're researching, something sitting on the table, something that came across your desk. Let's use a real scenario before my phone dies. I'm gonna have to recharge it.
Oh, I just got one under contract. I just sent the title, but I would like to see that because I'm liking what I'm seeing. But like I told you, Ken, I just want to be comfortable with the terms. And I'm not being anal, but I
get it. Not a problem, Al.
I'm hanging on your words because I do this.
I want to be fair here, Al. I want to go ahead and hear from somebody else and make sure they're just not listening, but they're interacting. Anybody else out there that have a deal on the table? Anybody that
Thank
has
you
to
very
spoke?
much.
Because I would love to. Absolutely, Al. Not a problem. I just want to give a fair chance to everyone.
Ken, could you just point out the for those folks that might be looking for a property, how they might be able to create a buy box?
Yes. Okay, great question. So for those of you guys out there that hear the term buy box, buy box, I personally hate that term because when people put you on a list, a buyer's list, and say, tell me what your buy box is, they just assume 500 people are going to buy the same single family home in the middle of Phoenix. It's not true. Okay. So, and if you find their email in your spam, maybe they luck out and they find somebody. But what we built is what's called a find my deal feature. You could do this all day long. So how do you get the find my deal feature? Once you become a verified investor, which is easy to do. If you guys don't know how to do that, once you download the application, click on your My Profile and request a verified investor license. That feature is free, but we have to vet you and we have to activate you. My buddy over here, COO Phil Augustin, he's going to go ahead and check all the information you plugged in. But the Find My Deal feature, here you go, real quick. The little gray icon right here that you're seeing right here, I'm going to go ahead and notify everybody in my community, not one, not two, 700 people that have downloaded the application that today I'm looking for a multifamily. I'm looking for straight deals subject to wholesale. I'm looking for a subject to, I want to pick up an easy entry point on a property that someone got really low interest rates during COVID. And I'm looking to spend about $200,000 to $300,000, and I'm looking to buy in Jersey because that's my buddy Phil. He's looking there as well. So listen, I'm going to help him out. I'm going to see if we can get maybe a subject to deal in New Jersey for let's call it a single family, because multifamily in Jersey is going to be pretty expensive. And Jersey, here we go. And I'm going to hit the send request button. Once you hit the send request button, you just notified everybody in our network that Ken Singh is looking for a subject to in New Jersey between $200,000 to $300,000. Guess what happens? You just notified hundreds of people and soon thousands of people by the end of the year that you're looking for a specific deal. What do you think is going to happen? Someone's going to have something. And when they upload it into our system, who wants to guess? Raise your hand or just chime in. What do you think is going to happen when they upload that deal? What do you think is going to happen right afterwards? Who's going to get notified? Me or everyone?
Everyone.
That's right. Everyone's going to get notified. So did we shorten or increase the odds of finding and selling deals? We increased those odds. Again, we didn't solve world hunger, but now we brought deals to your table, right to your fingertips, and imagine that happening all day long nationally.
And this Joseph has got a great question. Is there a bulk search feature or just individual?
The bulk search feature would just be for distressed properties and within a 2-mile radius that we're creating with our distress polygon search. A bulk search for I believe he's asking for skip tracing. That's not where our power is. We're not a deal machine that does 10, 15, 20,000 skip traces a monthly or whatever they offer, 5,000. We allow you to skip trace one at a time or your list of properties that you visited all at once and then export that list out. If that's considered a bulk search for you, then yes, we do bulk searches, but it has to be properties you visited on our application virtually.
And 2 people just messaged me and asked me what happens in a scenario when they run out of the skips, right? So it's 100 skips a month, but what about the searches? What if they just want to search the property itself? Is there unlimited? Okay, so what happens if they want to do more skips? What happens? Like, does it say you run out of skip traces?
Yeah, it says basically you used 100 skip traces for the month. Please wait until the time reconvenes from the time you downloaded the application to 30 days. Usually, like I said, this is an entry level point. We do have a higher price point, which is not going to be substantially higher. We're trying to roll the next version, the Pro Plus license out with the additional features. Patrick's favorite feature, the virtual tours. And of course, Al's favorite option for the 42-inch screen he has, it's going to be the web app, right? And that's probably going to be, we're trying to figure it out somewhere between $199 and $249 a month. But again, if our community keeps growing and they keep putting some power behind this thing, we might even lower it, because again, it's not about how much money we're making. The power comes in numbers. And if we're appealing to more people at the $149 number, well, heck, we'd rather have a bigger community than a fatter paycheck.
So
And how many skip traces can we do it with the Pro Plus version that we come?
We don't know yet. It's definitely going to be at least double to triple that.
And what happens if somebody wants to upload like additional skips? Is there going to be a feature? Let's say if they're at the lower. What's that?
No, you can upload as many properties as you like.
No, but I'm saying like the skips. What happens if somebody says, "Hey, love it. At the 49, I want to be grandfathered and locked into that price." Now you're telling me that there's an upgraded version of it. They're not going to get the upgraded version of it for the $49, right? $49.
Right. That's correct. Because at that point, we're going to have, if you guys can understand how technology works, we didn't code this from pure scratch. We have what's called third-party data providers that we integrate, even down to the call and messaging feature is provided by Firebase, which is a Google company. They charge us for X amount of users and they bill us on a monthly basis. The skip traces, we get billed on a monthly basis. The virtual tours we're creating is charged by minutes. How many minutes did you do a virtual tour based on 20, 30, 100, 200 people nationally. Even down to the property reports we provide to you guys is charged by bulk from, DataTree, CoreLogic, and LexisNexis. So obviously, if we need to give you more features, we would have to charge you more. Otherwise, we'd be broke and we'd be shut down very quickly.
So if somebody, let's just say maybe not now, but in the near future, let's say somebody blows through all those skip traces on those transactions on those properties, right? Because some of the people that are on here right now, they're skip tracing machines. So in a situation like that, is there an opportunity, or maybe would there be an opportunity that, let's just say they're with the $49.99 plan and they don't want to do the $249 or the $149 or whatever it's going to be? Can they upsell, or how can they
Upgrade.
or additional skips?
So you can upgrade. We just don't have that capability as of yet. But what I can tell you is literally on a day-to-day basis, we are working and adding new features. That's probably going to be ready if you just hang tight, maybe 60 days. It's not like it's next year where it's happening very quickly.
The people that are on here now, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback. If they get in at the $49.99, would you work something with them going forward?
Of course. We'll grandfather you in at the next price, but at a discounted rate. I think that's what you were saying.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay.
By the way, Dan Satosky's got a question. Will this will there be an ability to offer turnkey rentals for sale on the app, or selling first and second position mortgage notes to passive investors? And maybe Dan, if I didn't express this correctly, maybe you want to unmute yourself. But can you help us with that, Ken?
Yeah, Dan, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, sure. I just don't want to interrupt while you were talking.
No, not at all.
So I could see a tremendous amount of investors come to me all the time and ask me to send them all my turnkey rentals, all the properties I turn into turnkey rentals in emerging markets. And I have to put together a presentation and send it out to them individually. This will be not only phenomenal for me, but for investors that are looking for passive income with turnkey rental properties in different markets. So I could maybe there's a drop down. I saw you had obviously I do notes, right?
Yep.
For mortgage notes, I do first position mortgage notes. I generally will sell off on here and there once in a while, but these are really for those passive investors who want to come onto the platform and they just want to earn passive income. They don't want to really be crazy active, but I can put something into the platform. And now every single person that has a buy box of, I want to be a passive investor, they could actually be notified anytime I decide I want to sell a deal. Because right now I sell it to my network, which is, I have a few thousand people in my network that want to buy those. But I'm thinking on something like this, if they can come in and they can buy from, I put a property out there and it could be seen by thousands of people on your network.
Thousands.
That would be really, really, really big. Not really like me, it's easy to sell them because I have a network, but all the people in this industry right now that are looking for passive income, it would be tremendous for them to see my properties. Because right now I have to do it on people who are on my personal email or people that I have in my network that I know in my groups. So I'm just thinking of another option. I don't know. Do you have that right now?
Yeah. So let me break that down to maybe three different sectors of the question, right? 3 parts of the question. So one, the drop down that you saw when you saw sell my deal, and they had the drop down options like contract assignment, REO, note, wholesale deal, short sale. We didn't want to get okay, so my mind works crazy. Okay, I don't know if you noticed by this application. So I could have got into the development mode. It's been years now. We wanted to put this out there. That's why we're offering this $49 version. We are upgrading or updating that window that you saw with Sell My Deal based on the option you choose, contract assignment, REO, short sale. It's going to dictate which fields it opens up. If it's a subject to deal, it'll open up fields like entry point, interest rate. So it'll be unique to that sale type, okay? We can add and remove as many options as we like because unlike other companies that don't have the capability to do what we do, I could build this out 10 days to Sunday and make it the grandpappy of all real estate investments. It just takes time and energy and money, as you understand. So I could absolutely, to answer your question, add that as a feature. It just would have to make sense. The market would have to ask for it. Secondly, when you mention that you can market because you have thousands of people within your list, a lot of people don't have that, right? So we're just creating opportunity where your notification of that asset or that investment option is not going to go and fall on deaf ears and blind eyes. It's not going to end up in spam folders because you can't stop our notification. You're going to see it one way or another.
Right.
It's just up to you to view it and click on it.
Exactly.
And could we maybe schedule a meeting with Dan to talk more about this? Because I know that not only in Dan's case, but many people that are in that business would really be attracted by that option. And not that I want to give you more work, but maybe we can speak to Dan, not just for Dan's benefit, for a lot of the people that are in that space. And there's a lot of people in that turnkey rental space.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to speak to you more about that offline, Dan.
Sure. My pleasure.
Super,
right,
super.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. Great question. So anyone else in regards to just feedback, what we're doing, what the, what's on the horizon, how things work, what else we need to do to make this bigger and better, and what can we do for you guys out there?
Yes, when skip tracing, what about the numbers that are classified as DNC, excuse me?
If it's a DNC do not call, then it wouldn't be in public records. If it is in public records and it pops up, if there's a one-off, you click on it, it's probably not gonna ring, or it's gonna dial out. I don't know exactly how it works, but you're not breaking any rules by calling that phone number, not knowing it's a DNC, because you're just using public records.
Public records. Okay, understood.
All right, I appreciate that, because I was worried when you skip trace, are you providing that information? Because you don't want to call nobody, and they want to. I've had letters saying we're gonna sue you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right.
I don't think they're gonna sue you. All you have to say is, listen, it's just public records. This is what popped up while I was doing my research. Simple. And
Thank you very much.
And we can be gentlemen about it and gentlewomen and say, sorry to bother you. I apologize. Won't call you again. That's it.
Right. Well, Ken, we're an hour and a half into this. I think you've covered a lot. Matt, did you want to add some last words, and maybe Ken some last words? And Dan will definitely be reaching back out to you. Want to talk about, I think what your recommendation is a great recommendation. So I'll maybe Matt or Ken, if you want to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, I'm just going to say a couple things, and Ken, you could wrap it up. So, I mean, look, there are people that are bouncing in and out of this thing, and they're messaging me. And Ken, they are requesting that I set up meetings with you because, they either have a product or they have an idea. But somebody mentioned to me that he likes the idea of the service because what you just offered basically covers 3 applications that he uses and brings it into one app. Dude, that's freaking powerful. I love the fact that he just texted me that. And then, I got my buddy Juan on here. He offers a product too that I think real estate agents would go apeshit for with his product. So Juan, I'm actually going to set something up to do a private Zoom between Ken, Patrick, me, and you at the forum.
Yeah.
So you can talk about it.
Yeah, I would love that. So if everyone's hearing out there, we're doing some major partnerships. Don't hold my foot to the fire, but there has been some interest from Lead Zolo. A lot of interest. There's been some interest from foreclosure.com, and a lot of big companies out there. They see the tremendous value of being able to have a community-based application like this and allowing everybody to connect directly to one way or another, either market their company or co-sponsor their company, down to even corporate LLC companies that offer LLCs to investors, like Prime Corporate Services. Patrick's been connecting us to a lot of people, Matt. Would love to take the opportunity and speak to them. You never know. It might be a great fit. And even if it's not, it's always good to understand what's out there in the market and how we can kind of bounce ideas off each other.